Raleigh Sizemore 210016.
It's 18 minutes of audio recording. In that time, Raleigh Sizemore would make his case for release from state prison. In April of this year, he had served less than 3 years of his 10-year sentence for manufacturing methamphetamine and criminal mischief.
You've been on probation 1 time, and you've been on parole 2 times.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, what I get from that is you're probably not a good candidate for parole. What would you say to that?
I think that I can make better decisions this time.
We played the recording for Eric Ellis, whose brother Daniel was shot and killed earlier this month. Sizemore is charged in his murder 6 months after he was paroled.
I'd like to ask those parole board members why.
We tried to ask the parole board that question, but both the Department of Corrections and the state parole board denied our request for an on-camera interview. But we did obtain the recording from that April parole board hearing and these records from the administrative office of the courts. This is Sizemore's criminal history in Kentucky. 32 pages of arrests, charges, and jail time going all the way back to 1997 when he was 16. He served time in a state prison 5 times. His latest indictment says he's had 12 previous felonies. The charge of being a first-degree persistent felony offender has been dismissed twice since 2011.
Earlier this week, a Madison County grand jury returned an indictment against Sizemore, charging him with Ellis's shooting, an attempted robbery, and a domestic occurrence that happened 2 days before that November 4th shooting.
Why does he get a second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh chance? It's almost like he's laughing in the face of our system. Like, why is he not in prison?
Fayette Commonwealth's attorney Ray Larson can't speak to what happened with Sizemore, but he's been dealing with repeat offenders for decades.
Does that burn you up?
Sure, it burns me up. Now, what do you think? I sit over here and I used to have hair.
He says it goes back to House Bill 463.
Our legislature is too busy trying to keep people out of prison.
The law that passed in 2011 is meant to reduce penalties for some drug crimes and get defendants into treatment instead of prison.
I call it the catch and release law. Catch and release, soft on crime, criminal friendly law whose sole goal is to keep people out of custody, including the repeat offenders.
In the past 5 years, the Kentucky Department of Corrections has paroled more than half, 54% of offenders before their sentence was complete.
I mean, how do we make it better? We don't have the answers. We just have the...
You have the result.
We have the result of someone who lost their life because of the failure of the system. And we have to live with it, but we ask that our politicians, our state government, to do something about it.